following is the opinion of a random Tongan kid. Take it as such. It's an opinion. I'm allowed to get wrong. Deal with it. I just got back from the Vodafone New Zealand Music Awards at 2 a.m. This thing is still on. I know. Vodafone, how long is this thing supposed to stay on for? Those awards are pretty lit though. Shapeshifter. Mean. That girl who sang but is massive in Canada. Mean. Fat Freddy's. Mean. Big Runga. Mean. Aaradhna. Oh my gosh, Aaradhna. So what happened was that Aaradhna turned down her tui. She claimed that the awards were racist, that it kept all the brown nominees compact in one section, and that her music is different from the music that was also nominated in the same category, which were Swidit and PNC. Her music she makes is really different, and in case you want to know, I feel like she is right in her grievances, but I also feel like she's kind of wrong. And that's only because, as Tom Scott from Homebrew, who is, by the way, Balangi, but I'm pretty sure he's Tongan, because he said all the Tongans at the dairy because they sell the cheapest cover. I'm pretty sure he would have been categorized in the same thing, and, you know, she might have not said those things. All the nominees in that category were brown. Aaradhna had called them out, and I support her, but why were they all, you know, into one lot thing? Why do they see that urban music? If you're brown and you make music, it's automatically urban. However, if you listen to Lord's music, it's got those heavy 808 drums, those heavy trap beats, but because she's a Balangi girl, it's classed as pop. If it were a brown girl singing the exact same content, it would be classed as urban. But we've got to ask ourselves why. Why were they allowed to group all of our PI, our brown skinned people who make urban music into one category? And it saddens me because I'm a huge hip hop fan. Like, I love hip hop. It's just classed with the same as R&B and soul. If you do know, you know, there's blues, and then from there came R&B, came soul, and then later on you had hip-hop come along. Hip-hop was born in the Bronx with DJ Kool Herc, and hip-hop was very different from soul and R&B. Soul R&B is a lot more from the heart. You know, they sing more in soul and R&B. Soul and blues is, to be honest, is just music, whereas hip-hop is not just that. Hip-hop is 4 elements. Hip-hop is rapping, hip-hop is b-boying, b-girling, hip-hop is graffiti, hip-hop is the DJ, hip-hop is beatboxing, you know, hip-hop is its own culture, and to see that they've just collectively grouped it as one means that either one, they don't know how different these two musical genres are, or two, the financial backing just wasn't there. I'm going to these music awards and I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. I noticed that every single award has a sponsor, and I completely understand what, you know, without sponsors these events wouldn't happen, these events wouldn't be as cheap as they are. Vodafone have clearly put in a lot of money into this, and I think it pays dividends, knowing that Vodafone is the biggest mobile telecommunication company in New Zealand. New Zealand's a very small market. We have the talent. God knows we have the talent. We just do not have the population to support it to a point where these organizations, much like the Grammys, the American Music Awards, the Brits, the Arias, are all able to sustain and have their own, you know, music awards. But with sponsorship comes pressures. You know, with these pressures come, we might as well just group urban, R&B, soul and hip hop into one thing. When we know we have the talent for it to be separate. Why was Holly Smith not included in there? Holly Smith, soulful voice. You know, every time I hear her voice, I'm just like, oh my gosh. The lady who's famous in Canada, I keep forgetting her name, but frick, when I heard her music, I just got down with it. They could have been the 3 nominees right there. And in hip hop, you know, you have the Swidit Boys, you have PNC. I'm pretty sure there's countless other New Zealand hip hop artists who have dropped stuff, but I've just been so busy in my own bubble that where's Kings? Did Kings put out an album? We have an abundance of talent here. It's just sad that we just don't have the money, and corporates just don't see enough of a return in order to do these things justice. And it pains me. Aaradhna, you know, you're right. Calling racism, we've just got to keep asking me, why did they think it was a good idea to do this? Why didn't anyone speak up? And if anyone did speak up in that meeting where they were like, hey, let's just have urban hip-hop and R&B in the same thing, I wish I was at that meeting. I would have freaking pulled a fit. Sadly, I wasn't, but that was such an awesome night. It was just sad that, you know, those words are true. You know, Aaradhna was right. I primarily think it's not because they were doing it on purpose. I I think it's just because of a lack of resources. I'm not making excuses for racism. Don't think it was their intentions to insult anyone. Those definitely aren't mine right now. Yeah, Aaradhna, 100%. Some random Tongan kid living in Pamua who went to Mount Albert Grammar has your back. Do you remember that time in 2012 when we almost cussed? And that made my night when we went and watched Music Soul Child. Shout out to Rachel, my mom, for hooking it up because I would almost cried if I didn't. And I was poor then and I'm even poorer now. So you, Aaradhna, open up for Music Soul Child. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so lit. Aaradhna, all the best. You speaking out was kind of like empowered me, another random brown kid, to speak out in support of you and just take a step back and look at the reasons why. If you're still watching this, yes, this thing is still going off, and it's been going off since the music awards finished, which was like midnight-ish, and now it is 2:36 in the AM on a Friday,